give those fighters more time. Concentrate all fire on that superstar destroyer.
Sir, we've lost our bridge deflector shield. Intensify the forward batteries. I don't want anything to get through. Intensify forward firepower! Ah!
Too late!
What's up, shipbuilders? Well, that's 2 videos in a row I've blown up my own ship in the intro. Don't know what's gotten into me. I am still on that Star Wars build, and there is more to come, saving what I think might be the best for last. For this one, don't let its small size fool you. This little ship is actually one of the best combat ships you can build in the entire game. And if you're new here, in all of my builds, I use the best ship parts in the game that I can reasonably make fit the aesthetic of the ship. And by the best parts, I truly mean the best parts. I'm going to walk through each major ship system very quickly, but do check out my deep dive video on ship parts and stats to really go deep on why certain parts are much better than others. Also, you're going to need to be at least character level 60 and have invested heavily into your tech tree skill in order to use these parts and fly this ship. But if you aren't that high of a level, don't worry. You can swap out some of these parts for other parts that still maintain the look of this ship and just use the same structural pieces as well. Now on this ship with its thin profile, I still fit my favorite C-Class reactor, the Pinch 8A. Many of you already know this is my go-to reactor for its insanely high 1,950 health points. The Grav drive, choose the one that provides at least 28 light years of jump range, and for a ship with this mass, that's the Aurora 11G. For a shield, we're using the Vanguard Bulwark shield, top 3 in the game because it performs so well across all the specs that matter. Shield health, regen rate, and mass. Now if I could make it fit the aesthetic of the ship, I'd probably go with the 28T Defender. I think that is the best, as it performs ever so slightly better. But for this ship, the Bulwark shield just fits better. For the engines, I knew I needed at least Class A top speed for this ship, but ended up fitting the fastest engine in the entire game, the White Dwarf 3015s. Put Samco on your crew to boost them even further, and you'll be able to outfly anyone who comes against you. Finally, weapons. I'm going with the Melt Your Face loadout. All 3 top performing particle beams, the Vanguard Obliterators, Exterminator 95 MEVs, and PBO 175s. I do have deep dive videos on all of these ship parts, so trust me when I say this is one of the best combat ships you can build. And really quick, before we jump into the detailed build, there are specific ship parts you'll need to shop for to complete this build. First, you want to go to HopeTown on Polvo, and there you should get one HopeTech Companionway Fuselage A, which is a HAB piece, and the Commander 500 bridge, which provides a bit more cargo space than the lesser versions of this cockpit. After that, go to the Stroud-Eklund Staryard in the Helion system. I like to go here to get my reactor, shield, weapons, all the high-end, very expensive pieces. And finally, go to New Homestead on Titan and pick up 2 of the NG-20 landing gear. With that, let's jump into the build itself. Pretty straightforward little build here. We're going to walk through it piece by piece and use this initial version as our example. So to start, Stability Pro landing bay, you'll enter from the side. And then right in front of that, we're going to grab this Stroud cap piece, scroll all the way down, Stroud cap A, and we're going to flip it a few times. Now I'm at my Outpost Landing Pad, so that's where I'm getting all these various structural pieces. Attached to that, with the nose cap B flipped upside down, and then just copy and flip the cap A for the other side. Move that over here. Alright. Once you enter in the landing bay, you'll come into a 1x1. I'm going to grab, I think, the Tayo bottom B. The B version has connector points on the sides, so that's why we want that one. And before we forget, because it's not easily seen, we're going to get the slim docker, flip it upside down, and attach it right underneath that 1x1. So whether you're using the docker or the landing bay will come into the exact same 1x1. Now, here it is, Stroud cowling. We want this piece on the other side from the landing bay, just to be symmetrical. And then right behind that 1x1, we're going to put our Grav drive. Now, these landing gear I cannot get at my Outpost Landing Pad, so I'm just going to grab them and bring them over. We'll have to go to New Homestead on Titan to get these, as I mentioned earlier. And then behind those, we'll have the White Dwarf 3015s. These don't actually connect to the landing gear. They'll connect to the layer above that. So I'm just going to leave them right here for now, and we'll connect them in a minute once we get onto the second layer. Alright, go over to fuel tanks really quickly, get some of these M50s. These are actually the most efficient fuel tanks in the entire game, and by that I mean their fuel per mass is the highest. That ratio is 10. The best in the game. Grab our pinch 8A reactor, put it on the back. That reactor is not available at our Outpost Landing Pad, which is why I just grabbed it from the back here. And I'm going to delete that layer because we're done. And if I leave too many ship parts out, the shipbuilder will yell at me and said I've used too many parts. So deleting those. Go ahead and copy those nose cap A's and set those forward offset 1. And then copy this Stroud cowling and flip that so it's top facing. We'll have one of those on either side behind those cap A's. Now, to fill out the middle, let's go back to our structural pieces. Up here near the top is the Deimos Wing A. Put one of these on either side of those cap A's. And that gives us kind of just a little slot in the front of the A-wing. Kind of an iconic slot. Stroud mid-bracer, you could put a 1x1 HAB there or here if you wanted to. I'm not a huge fan of 1x1 HABs, but it's up to you. And then on either side of that, to complete the kind of the sloped wedge shape, copy those Deimos Wing A's. On top, grab a 2x1. I like to make this a control station to get those extra crew stations. So we'll put that there. Next, we're almost done with this build already. Not too many pieces to this little ship. We're gonna grab, I think it's up here at the top. Yeah, just a Deimos Hull. Just to kind of mix up the aesthetic instead of having two of those Stroud mid-bracers. And that's what these White Dwarf 3015s will attach to. So they'll attach to that and then to themselves. And I'll keep those connected on the back of our ship. Now grab some of these spine pieces. And the spine A will then go to the spine D to get kind of those wing looks. I'll just select both of those and copy, place them on the other side. Now the only thing left is just our cockpit, Commander 500 bridge, this HopeTech Companionway, which fits the aesthetic of the Commander 500 bridge nicely. And then the TIO piece on the back of that. So again, these you have to go buy specifically at HopeTown. So I'm just going to grab them here and place them on our ship. But you can get that TIO piece here. So I'm going to scroll all the way down and you'll see I can find this TIO cowling. Change the variant to backward facing, make sure it's flipped upright, and that'll go on the back. Just like that. Shield, grab the Vanguard Bulwark shield. And I'm realizing that I put our Deimos spine pieces too far forward. So grab those, move them back. They should go over top of the engines in the back. There we go. And now our Vanguard Bulwark shield, which is like our little droid friend, sits on top of the Stroud mid-bracer. That's all the structural pieces for this ship. I'm going to go ahead and grab the paint color. So if I select the paint color, toggle left, right, hit accept, it'll put it into my palette so I can paint the whole ship. And then we can just select certain pieces here and paint those our red color. A fan of this red color. Came out a little bit metallic. Don't know how that happened, at least to my eyes. Again, apply the paint however you want. Maybe you want the blue version of the A-wing. It's up to you. You got a lot of options for this ship, which is nice. Something about like that. Go ahead and delete that back there. And I'm going to delete that whole ship. Now we're almost done. We can color our cockpit, which looks like it needs to be a dark black. There we go. And that's our ship, except for our weapons. So let's go ahead and grab our weapons. We need the Vanguard Obliterators. And next, scroll down, the PBO 175s, and then we need to find those Exterminator 95 MEVs. All these are the auto versions, which means they come with a full magazine before they have to reload. And so I prefer these. You don't have to power these up all the way to get that full magazine, whereas with the non-auto variants, they have to reload after every shot. And so you can go through a few enemy ships before even having to reload, which is what makes the auto variants so powerful. Now, for some reason, my ship builder doesn't like to place weapons with a copy, so I need to keep one out and just copy from that one. It's a little bug that's crept into my ship builder after building so many ships. Last but certainly not least, let's see, we've already got a couple of those on our fuselage in the back there. These Vanguard Obliterators. Place up to 6 of these. Again, you should place all 6 because you get their full magazine right off the bat. And you'll just melt any enemy ship that comes against you. Let's go ahead and assign these. And you'll see all my stats will be identical to when I started. One of the best combat ships in the entire game. Not built for cargo, but built to melt any ship you encounter. I hope you enjoyed this build. This is a fun one to fly. If you haven't flown these White Dwarf 3015s before, this is going to be super fun for you. And until next time, keep building.